Welcome back to BRB Gamer. You're here with me, Thor.
Stubborn Pixel.
Retro GM.
Jecklen.
And today we're talking about some classic console modding, some restoration, and it's something that Jecklen, Retro, and I are pretty into, so we hope you enjoy the show.
Turn off your phone.
So what have you guys been working on? Jecklen, I know you had a Game Gear that you've been working on. What's up with that?
Oh man, that Game Gear was a nightmare. So I had the bright idea of trying to mod one despite all the warnings I got online about it. Because you have to remove something like 15 resistors on this thing in order to get it even ready to start wiring new things up. And it required me to use my flow bench with my heat gun in order to remove everything, and that took forever. So I tried not to melt pieces while putting new on. Eventually, I got everything hooked up, and it was the moment of truth, and I flipped it on, and the screen just stayed black. And Thor and I worked on this thing for I want to say 6 hours back and forth, trying to figure out what was going on.
Well, just trying to interpret the guide was a feat in of itself.
Yeah, it seriously was.
That was a bad guide.
Yeah, well-written guides make a world of difference. So, yeah. I mean,
well, especially when they're expecting you to hold on to resistors you just took off the board on a 20-plus-year-old console and put them back on in another place.
Yeah, when step 2 is remove all the resistors, and step 8 is, by the way, those resistors you removed, you need to keep track of them because you need 2 of them back on. And it's not really a well-written guide, but that one, I'm hoping it was the board, the PCB I got, because I got a generic one as opposed to the McWill one to save a bit of money, which I guess was my first mistake. But yeah, they're sending me a new one, so I'm hoping that's the issue and it wasn't something that I messed up.
Cool. We'll see, what was the other thing that you modded LCD into? I couldn't remember the name of it.
Oh, the Nomad.
The Nomad, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going all Sega this week.
You have the Sega Nomad?
Yeah, I just picked one up off eBay for $100, and the screen was bad, so I tore into it. And I watched this LCD mod done on Macho Nacho, one of the YouTube channels, and he said it was a $15 upgrade or modification. I couldn't believe it, so I was like, well, let me check this out. So I got the pieces for it off of Console 5. Nice. And it was $15, and it's 3 wires, and you're pretty much done. The hardest part is, the 3D print, but if you trim it up a little bit, once you print it out yourself, you're pretty much good to go. Everything snaps into place, no alignments needed, and it looks great compared to the original. I love it.
That's awesome. I feel like that's a great price for finding a Nomad too. I've never seen one in the wild before.
Yeah, I looked up that the pricing on your Game Gear screen mod, and I was just like, oh my god, what? $100 based for the non-knockoff? And then you were talking about how easy the Nomad was. It's like, man, that's a pretty big divide.
Yeah, the ridiculousness of it is that a modified Game Gear with that LCD screen goes for $140, $150. So you're looking at $100 for doing the modification. Wow. I would pay someone $100 for me not to have to do that again. That would be great. But for the Nomad, it's $12 for the mod, and that thing shoots up in price from $130, $140 up to $250, $300 easy.
Oh wow!
People pay for an LCD mod, but I was gonna sell it just because I like modifying new things because I get kind of bored, doing the same ones over and over again. But now that I'm playing it, popping a Genesis game into it and playing it portably is pretty damn cool. So I may end up keeping it.
Yeah, I can definitely see where modifying SPs and Game Boy Colors and stuff are, over and over, and I can see where that would get a little bit old, a little stale.
Yeah.
But I do know that you and Retro have pre-ordered some pretty baller CNC Game Boy SP mods.
Oh yeah, the unhinged ones. What site was that from, Retro?
It is from Boxy Pixel.
That's right. Yeah, so it's all aluminum. It's single frame, no hinge in the center. I guess hence the unhinged name.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was the one to find that.
It's really cool. That's going to be the first Boxy Pixel aluminum Game Boy metal shell that I put together. I've looked at them before. They look cool. The Game Boy Color one looks cool in it. Before the modern screens came out, and they fit better. My friend had a workstation set up so that he could do it on the Dremel power station thing. And it was cleaner, but I did mine by hand.
Well, so for that CNC mod, are you supposed to use the IPS replacement screens, or can you use a 101, or what's the deal with it?
Only IPS.
Only IPS. That makes sense. So you're looking at what, $150 base just for those modifications?
Probably at least, yeah, because the screens are what, like 50 for an IPS if you get a good deal on it, and then if you get the aluminum buttons plus the shell, you're looking at like 112. You're getting up there, but I mean it's pretty awesome. So
yeah, especially once you toss a flash card into all that mess, and you can play NES, GB, GBC, and GBA games on it.
Yeah, if you're some kind of maniac.
Well, I'm one of those lunatics.
Now I understand about half the words you guys are saying and throwing at me right now. But it seems to me that you're all wildly brilliant, and you're at the forefront of the modding scene right now. Thor, you started a whole new channel on YouTube for these upgrades, and you went on eBay and went nuts getting these things.
I did.
You went like way more nuts than I went with my next gen purchases.
Yeah, I had a lot of consoles, and I was just sitting here, and occasionally I get bored and want to do some stuff. And while thinking about that, I realized that there doesn't seem to be a solid central resource for a lot of these basic mods. You kind of have to filter through a lot of YouTube channels and stuff. And so I thought, well, I mean, screw it, let's make our own, and let's do sort of a central resource for a lot of this stuff. You know what I mean?
Hell yes. And it's called
Res Please.
Is that stand for restore, please?
Well, that's a play on the what you would say in an MMO if you died in the field. You ask somebody for a res please. So resurrection, please.
That's awesome. Okay, now I get it.
So I went through a list, and I put that up in our Discord. But
did you check it twice?
I did check it twice.
Have you been naughty or nice?
No. Yes, to both of those. But I went through a list, and I tend to keep my consoles, and I keep them in pretty decent condition. And I went through and I said, hey, this is what I have, and this is what I want. And then I went absolutely apeshit on eBay.
Yeah.
And bought everything on my list that I didn't already have. So there'll be quite a bit of teardown and rebuild videos, as well as a really popular thing that's called recapping, where you replace the capacitors on the motherboards, and it makes it function like it originally did. So that's kind of the base. There'll be some mod reviews and things like that in there as well. And Jecklen and Retro have volunteered to do some filming, and I'll do some of the voiceovers for that. So for some of their mods.
Yeah, guys. So this is like a collaboration project. This is
such collab, bro.
Such collab. Okay.
I recorded 3 videos right now. I did the taking apart of the Game Boy Pocket, and now I'm putting it back together. The 3rd video, cool. I don't know.
I'm excited to watch these. I'll be your guys' hype man.
You're welcome to edit it. I'm not going to edit it. I'm just going to send it to you raw. You can slice it up,
Yep.
However you want.
I did a Game Boy Pocket one. I just pick it up and I put it in the trash, and then I take out a Game Boy Color and play that instead. But yeah, no, I did one too. I did one for the battery pack, and I'm hoping to put some STL files up there. I keep on having to make replacement parts for my stuff, and now that I have the printer, I'm going to hand it. So there should be some designs up there too that people.
Awesome.
Absolutely. So yeah, we're just we're going to be filming some videos soon and cutting them together. I think that people might enjoy like some base disassembly videos where things are explained. Hey, here are some problems that you can have with this console. And I think I might put in a long cut for some ASMR as well. No Thor talking, just hands taking apart classic consoles, cleaning them, and putting them back together.
A little bit of like clicking on the mic like this.
Yeah, just that little.
Honestly, man, I love those videos. They're so soothing.
Yeah, they really are.
I don't know what it is about how there's on like forever. There's like them scrubbing stuff. It's just like my background music for whatever I'm doing.
I've definitely watched those quite a few times.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, and there's so little classic console content out there. Everybody's fixed up a PlayStation. Everybody's fixed up an N64 in these kind of things. But I actually have a Darth Vader edition Atari 2600 on the way that I'll be making a video for. Right? I didn't even know that shit existed, but that's totally a thing.
That's amazing.
Is it shaped like Darth Vader's head?
It's shaped like sort of like an Imperial console. You know, like So, got some good stuff on the way. The 7800, obviously, and then a bunch of Game Boy stuff. I already ordered a bunch of Game Boy mods, which that's out there, but obviously that's a resource I'd like to have on the channel as well.
Yeah,
you want it to be central,
and that's another issue though. It's not that the content's not out there. It's kind of like where there's no central location for all of it, and that there's a lot of myth out there as far as what exists and what the best option.
Right, especially for the mods.
Yeah, like the TFT versus the IPS for the Game Boy Color and the backlight.
Yeah, and I'm not hating on anybody. I don't want anybody to think that.
Not at all.
But the quality of some of the videos and the explanations could go up, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You mean are going to go up once you put it out?
Well, I'm going to try. So yeah, I have a solid Game Boy Advance SP IPS mod on the way, and I'm going to be taking a GBA SP 001, the kind of the basic bitch GBA SP with the crappy screen that's front lit, not even backlit, and making it something nice. And this one is actually my original Game Boy Advance SP that I played with forever ago. So once I get the 13-year-old Thor sweat out of the cracks, which I'll be cleaning on camera, I'll toss in the IPS mod and the new shell and all that good stuff, and it'll be ready to rock.
At least it's your own body scum this time, though. I mean, taking it apart and finding a bunch of like nastiness in there, and you're like, "Whose is this?" It's
a bunch of
disgusting.
12-year-old Japanese boy sweat.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good line.
That is a super good line. That should be like the tagline for the episode. The
closest thing I've done 12-year-old Japanese boy sweat.
No. Well, anything's better than the last one where I named it Yuletide Surprise, and I'm like, why did I write that? Like, it was funny at the time, but
3 beers in, let's do
go
this.
To print, and I was like, what the fuck? Chthonics is like, what? Like it's funny. It's like fine. So one time on eBay, I ordered an old gross PS1 shell to put a Raspberry Pi 3 in. Mm-hmm. This is my only story I have for resurrecting an old console, but I had to dip it in like bleach and try to clean off that really grody case, and I got it pretty nice in the end. Then did some 3D printed parts and connected the Raspberry Pi in, and it's just super satisfying to play with that old hardware and make it new again. So I really understand where you guys are coming from on this, and you can just go to town if you get a bunch of units.
Absolutely, I've seen a lot of single board computer mods like the Raspberry Pi for GameCubes and original Nintendos and all that kind of stuff. And the great thing about those things is that you can play all your old games. Now, I know Jecklen and Retro love to have their cart collections and stuff like that, but I think I kind of balance that out because at the same time, I'm like, I kind of want to put everything on an SD card, you know?
I mean, yeah, exactly. Modify the system while you're at it, modernize it a bit.
You're entitled to be wrong.
I know I'm entitled to be wrong.
And I mean, I've come around too. I have a couple physical games in my library. I have like 7 physical games now. So
absolutely. I know, Jecklen, you've been collecting N64 games. You've made quite a bit of progress on that collection, haven't you?
Yes, I have. I ended up trading 10 Switch games for like 164 games. Pretty damn cheap. So.
Jeez.
That's a good trade.
Yeah, that is. Just those limited run games, man. You got to pick them up even if they suck. For some reason, they go up in value. So there you go.
Yeah.
Well, do you have Shadows of the Empire in your collection?
Yeah, I do. I have to have that. I have to have all the Star Wars games.
You got to.
They're actually really good.
And that was like my game when I was younger.
Yeah.
I remember the swoop bike, riding that through Tatooine. Hated that level, but now I'm going to play it all again. So.
But what about Superman 64? You got that one, right? That
I
gem?
just got that one in, and I almost want to play it just because of how notorious it is.
It's garbage.
Like, yeah,
it's pretty bad.
It from what I've heard is terrible, and I was like, can't really be that bad. So I went online, I went to some forums, and someone's like, is this game really that bad? I'm like, cool. Someone asked it, and there was like 2,000 responses. They were like, I wanted to throw up when I was younger. I played this when I was like 8, and they were just all negative. I was like, all right, well, now I have to try it.
There's nothing positive about that game.
No.
They started a version of that for the PS1 that got into like an early alpha state, and it's out there. The ROM's out there. It's even worse than the N64 one.
Ooh,
worse.
So it's terrible.
Worse.
It is. No. They tried. They started building the game, and I think the 64 one came out, and they were like, "Well, I don't know what to do other than to cancel this project and throw it in the garbage."
There's some really cool stories like that. Like they had an early alpha of Resident Evil 2 for Game Boy Advance.
I saw that,
and it's like nuts. It looks like the graphical fidelity looks pretty equivocal to the PS1's graphics. I was really impressed by it. I can't believe how powerful that little system was. Someone even did a Metal Gear Solid, the first intro level you go to, like when you come up through the water and you go through all the crates and stuff.
Yeah,
they did that whole area.
That's some kind of like parallax emulated 3D, right? That the GBA was actually able to do somehow, magically.
And some guy recently actually just remade engine to develop for the GBA using the parallax. So people are trying to make 3D games for the GBA,
That's awesome.
Which is cool.
I love seeing all this new wave support for these classic consoles, man. That's great stuff.
Yeah.
I thought Ek versus Sever was the top of the heap for 3D graphics on the Game Boy.
Oh yeah,
but no, that was Game Boy Advance. Cool. Yeah, they looked good.
Yeah, they had a bunch of 3D in there. Iridian is another really cool one. That shooter. Then they have Monkey Ball Jr. They have. I can't remember. I just picked up another one, but it's pretty crazy to pop in a Game Boy Advance game in 3D. I know Stop Skeletons from Fighting does a bunch of videos on it. Pretty cool.
Well, that's a lot of fun, man. I can't believe looking at these prices for some of these cards, especially 64 games, how much they go for. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Woo. Spicy.
Yeah, there's some I don't know if I'll ever have. Like, what is it? Clay Fighter?
Yeah.
Sculptor's Cut is like $600, $800.
Oof.
Wow.
Like, I can't swallow that pill. Like, unless the game, even if the game's amazing, that's just way too much to spend on pretty much anything. But I don't know how I'm going to convince myself or my wife of that one. We'll see.
You could always go like super elite hacker with it and get an empty cart and load it up yourself.
Oh man, speaking of which, that kind of happened to me.
Yeah.
So I got this well, not that scenario, but I got lucky. I got a lot of 8 games. No, it was 10 games, 10 N64 games off of eBay for like $20. And I got it because I had a bunch of those like crappy filler sports games that I have to get to complete it.
Yeah.
And I was like, whatever. And they had one blank one in there. They're like, I don't know what this is. You know, I didn't test them. And normally when I'm like, people don't test them, like they're full of shit. Like some of them must be broken. And I don't know. I'm just pessimistic about people saying they don't test them. So I got the games in and I get the blank one and I pull it out and I check the PCB and I check the number on the PCB and it's coming up with a few results. But one of them is Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Oh,
and so I go onto the one of the forums on here and I'm like, hey, I took a picture of the PCB. I'm like, can you guys help me identify what this is? And like 3 guys come back like, that's Conker's Bad Fur Day. And the guy's like, yeah, here's my PCB. It's the same one. So I end up fixing a couple of traces on the board because 2 or so of them are bad. I pop it in and it fires up. And yeah, man, I paid like $20 for it for the lot of 10 games. And Conker's Bad Fur Day was in there. And that one goes for like $85, something like that. So it was a pretty cool find.
I imagine a lot of those rare games are, pretty rare now. So
yeah, ultra rare.
Yeah, definitely.
Rare squared.
Nice.
Rare squared. You just got to get like a label, put a new label on there, and you're good to go.
Yeah, there's a few people who make them, so it shouldn't be too hard to do.
Yeah.
And the Conker Bad Fur Day label isn't that intricate, so you won't be able to tell the difference.
Yeah.
I ordered a few replacement labels for some Game Boys that I'm going to be restoring for the channel. And those were, like $2 or $1.80 or something like that. Those weren't bad at all. So I imagine that you should be able to get a repro pretty cheaply as well.
Oh yeah, I think they're like $4. I get it from the same guy on Etsy all the time, and he's usually pretty good about stuff. I think I've got a bunch of them, but they're always pretty good quality.
Man, I love thinking about all these little restorations to bring things back to original, you know? I've been thinking a lot about, and I know I've been talking to you guys about it, but I've been thinking a lot about retro brighting lately because there seems to be a few different paths. And for our listeners, if you don't know what retro brighting is, it's these older plastics that these cases are made of tend to yellow over time with exposure to sun, and you can actually reverse that, which is
Or
pretty
brand
cool.
cigarettes.
Or cigarettes. Your Warvet dad sits there and plays Doom all day and just chain smokes. I got a buddy whose dad was like that. So I'm going to be doing some experimentations on the best methods to restore some of these consoles. I think that'll be a lot of fun.
That's gonna be awesome to follow along to and just see that happen. Are you guys gonna do a little bit newer gen at all, like PS Vita era, PSP?
I'm definitely going to be doing some PSP mods eventually. I have a PSP on the way, and I think they could do a little love and show people how to restore it as well.
I'm waiting for my PS Vita screen to come in so I can put that one together.
I think about as far as I'm going to go is PlayStation 3, because that's a great entry level emulation box, especially if you get a PS3 Fat, because you can play PS1 and PS2 games on it. So yeah, I think about as far as I'm going to go is the PS3, because it can be a great little entry level retro gaming machine if you want to, and it'll play PS3 games if you want.
You could do that, or you could run like a PS3 emulator and play that on your PC or your Xbox Series X. You know, you go crazy in there. I haven't done it, but I hear people do it. It's fine.
It's possible. PS2's bad enough as it is.
Yeah, custom configurations for every single game is a lot.
Yeah, that's
oof. That's some N64 Moopin Retroid Pocket 2 level shit right there.
Oh my god, the Moopin drama is amazing, man. I love watching it. And I've spent the past like 3 days repackaging the firmware and the pre-install folders and giving people a root solution. Like my fucking hands hurt from all the typing from writing guides and setting everything up.
Yeah, you are slaying in there. Like I do hop in and watch that, and I'm like, well, I do feel completely useless, but look at Thor go. Those guys and all you guys are just rocking it in there. It's really fun just to follow along too, even if I'm like, I should probably help out right now, but I'm fucked.
And again, this directly involves Choosh because he's a madman with it. But holy crap, the Moopin drama of getting the right build of Moopin out of hundreds or whatever it was that runs rare games at 30 plus frames per second on the RP2 is just it's so specific, you know.
Yeah, Perfect Dark seems like it's just never ending to get that thing to run stable.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I still have Conker's Bad Fur Day glitches on my Mega PC that I do all my CAD work on, you know? So
even on like modern hardware, like the NVIDIA Shield TV, you can't run Donkey Kong 64 well. Like I can't get the textures to look right.
No.
And Donkey Kong's all flopping around. Like I've tried so many like GLS 1, GLS 2, GLS 3 versions of Moopin, and it just all looks like garbage. So I think it's a Moopin thing more than a hardware thing.
Well, and you know, I'm not crapping on Moopin. I just understand that these small changes break other things, you know, in their releases.
Right. Well, I mean, the code base is from what 2007 or something, and
I think it's 2008.
2008, and wasn't really developed much further past that. Just like little iterations of the original code.
Yeah, I do think about that every now and then. I'm like, I should put up like a $2,000 bounty for a brand new 64 emulator, you know, just to get it done.
Or, you know what you could do? You could build one of those portable ones. You see the guy who made the portable N64 SP?
No. What's this madness?
Oh, I saw that. It's super thin.
Yeah, it's like so what he did, and this is what I'm going to be trying to build. What he did is he made a custom PCB. So you move over the CPU and the GPU from like the processor and the main graphics processor from the N64 motherboard. You desolder them from there, put it on this new board. And then he solved the issue of having the expansion pack because it's big and clunky and he couldn't really fit it in the foldable case.
Yeah.
And instead, he put 2 4-megabyte RAM chips on the board as opposed to the 2 that were on the initial one. So that way he eliminated that issue. Then he had a ribbon out connector. He had everything in there. So really, there was only like 2 wires that you would need to connect in order to get the thing to work. It's USB-C rechargeable. Like it's rad, man.
Oh man, that sounds crazy.
Awesome.
Yeah. So and everything's 3D printable on it. The buttons, the case.
Mhm.
So I saw that and I was like, well, I'm getting all these games. And I got to be able. And God knows I can't use my TV with My Little Pony on it all the time. So I got to make a portable solution.
Well, what size was the screen? How about that?
I think the screen's a 4.5 inch, I want to say.
Okay.
But that could be wrong. I need to double check it. But I do know he made a watermelon. That's most important. So it's pretty cool. It's like translucent red and clear, just like the initial console. And I haven't gotten into 3D printing any kind of clear material yet, but it was really cool the way he did it. So I'm excited about it. I'm going to order up the PCBs. I had to do it before when I made the Sony cart dumper. So the PCBs take like a week to come, and they're like $10. Like it's when I first heard about like ordering custom PCBs, I was like imagining this really convoluted, expensive process, but it's super easy to do.
If you're only doing 2 sides, yeah.
Forget about it.
So yeah, that's an exciting project.
Well, man, I'm excited for you. I'm excited to see the results of that. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, mine'll probably look like a cardboard box with some holes in it.
Perfect.
What we call version 1.
Version 1, yeah. Yeah, the final version.
The Woz box was pretty much just 4 pieces of wood.
No, that's true. Yeah, I forgot about that.
With a PCB glued on.
I had a buddy back in college who ran his, because he was one of those basement dwelling zine guys, right? It's like the government's going to get you, you know?
Yeah,
I know 1 or 2. Yeah.
Yeah, but his whole PC setup was like heavily modified Tupperware containers.
Yes.
and a power cable.
Hey man, don't knock Tupperware. That was my headlights on my old Corolla, 89 Corolla. I smashed up the headlights. Restomod. And I was way too cheap at the time, my early 20s, to buy new headlamps from the accident. So I'm like, went to Target, I got cheap Tupperware, and I duct taped them on there.
Hell
and
yeah.
sold the car that way, actually.
And it lasted that long.
It lasted that long.
That's fantastic.
So, I mean, a Tupperware PC build, that sounds pretty neat. Minus the heat that's going to get generated, of course. Because if you don't
it wasn't closed Tupperware. It was just like
open Tupperware design.
Yeah, he made standoffs for the boards and stuff out of toilet paper tubes.
But why would you need standoffs if you have a plastic case?
Because it was sitting down in it. I don't know why. We called him Pugsley. I don't know why we even interacted with this dude. I don't even remember.
We need Pugsley as a guest. We need to interview him about this design.
The dude's probably dead, man. Like, he was a lunatic.
Oh man, I need to know about this build.
Sorry, I can't download Discord. The government's gonna listen to me.
Yeah, no shit.
Well, yeah, that's also true. But I wonder if he had like his hamster going in through those tubes, because it sounds like a great like gerbil or hamster case and a PC case, like hybrid.
Yeah, until it gets into the heatsink fan.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah, I know. Oh no, no, little
hamster barbecue.
Mr. Cheeks, no. No.
Senor Nibbles, no.
That's his death sounds. Sorry. I don't know how to not make these episodes dark anymore.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh, but when you do decap it, the SMDs are a pain in the butt. Those are the surface mounted ones, for anyone who doesn't know. They're the ones that are like flat against
tiny
it.
Ones.
Yeah, you can barely even see the metal exposed, so it's like a pain in the butt to get any kind of solder, and you have to like move back and forth. It's kind of like Austin Powers when he's in that hallway. You just kind of have to wiggle back and forth the entire time until you finally get it off. But I saw this episode because I was trying to figure out how to remove those easily. If you take, and this sounds ridiculous, and it sounds like I'm an idiot, but I promise, I tried this and it works. If you take like needle nose pliers and you squeeze it down on it and you push down on the board, then twist, it snaps off cleanly and it never tears up the feet. Like you're more likely to tear off the feet if you melt them off. So just, that I used it this last time that I had to do it on the Game Gear, and it was a lifesaver. I took them all off so much quicker.
Yeah.
Okay, see, so you already did know. I don't even know why I tried, man.
Oh no, I'm not breaking your ball.
I appreciate the tip.
We had a brief conversation about reflow stations, and my whole thing with this is because I have all the big boy equipment, including an infrared and hot air rework station.
Don't tell that to Pugsley.
What's that?
Don't tell that to Pugsley. I'll scare him right off your property. Like, infrared, what did you just say? Oh, hell no. Get the fuck out of here. I'm going back to my hamster cage.
I'm normally working with the infrared beam and like Teflon tweezers, right? So I need to go back to doing this a little bit lower tech because otherwise I don't think people will relate to having a $5,600 infrared rework station.
You're just gonna be flexing on them. They're gonna be like, this guy's toys are too expensive.
Yeah, so I'm probably
going
to go
back
back
to
to
you take your CNC machine.
It's really easy, guys. You just take your CNC machine and take your UV printer
and build a Virtual Boy. Infrared makes me think of the Virtual Boy. Just that's right.
The Virtual Boy. Oh man, I didn't buy a Virtual Boy.
Black. Well, you gotta res please a Virtual Boy and like modernize it.
If you can find one.
Yeah, I don't even know if you can find them anymore, man.
And it's not even about the price, but Virtual Boys are weird though. They're kind of in that weird spot where they're not really that expensive when you do find them, but they're just so damn hard to find.
Yeah.
That like they almost never pop up, it seems like. But yeah, Saturns are outrageous.
Well, I think I was looking around on eBay and it was like, this one works and I have a controller, $150. I'm like, bro, no way. No.
Yeah. Like, come on.
I don't have the video cable. I don't have the power cable, even though I'm swearing it works. Right. Yeah. Sure.
It doesn't even have emotion cores like the PS2 does. Like, come on, stupid Saturn.
Yeah, my favorite are the listings that say might work or don't know what's wrong with it, and they want like 90% of a working price.
Yeah.
And you're like, dude, I'm not going to invest this in something that may or may not work. Like, this is a gamble for me. Like, how are you not going to go lower on that price? Those are fun.
Yeah.
But I just pretty much avoid those.
I tend to search for stuff that says for parts or repairs.
Because that just means it needs new batteries, or?
Well, not just new batteries, but like this Game Boy Advance SP Model 101, right, with the nice screen.
Yeah.
The listing I got it from said, essentially like it works, but not really, so getting rid of it and another Game Boy Advance. I was like, all right, I'll take it, whatever. I opened the thing up. I moved one tiny thing inside of it, the little switch that detects the cartridges, right? And the thing works flawlessly now.
People give up too easy on their devices. They're just like, well, it's dead now. I'm like, well, I ripped my left joystick. But that's what makes the hobby like affordable for you. You buy the cheap ones and then fix them up, and then there you go.
Well, it seems to be one of those things where like there are certain types of people who would be like, okay, this is broken. I want to see how to fix it. And then there are the other types of people who are like, this is broken. I'm going to get a new. Yeah. And it's there's no, they don't try. It's not like they don't try hard. Like they just don't try because they're like, it's magic. Magic makes this work. And I don't know magic. So
the magic's gone.
The man who made this was a wizard.
Yeah, this is out of magic. Like I helped my mother-in-law recently with her computer because she said it wasn't connecting to her Wi-Fi, and all I did is reinstall her drivers for her Wi-Fi. And I thought I would mess with her because she always has weird issues. Like one time she said her computer wouldn't turn on, and it's because she didn't charge it and it's a laptop. So this time I told her computer was out of Wi-Fi fluid, and she said she would She told me she would reimburse me for the Wi-Fi fluid, and I had to like let her in on it. But like it's like that kind of situation. I feel like
I need to mess with people more. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Oh, it is. Yeah, I'm definitely not her favorite son-in-law, but yeah, it's fun.
I think we're all our family's tech support at this point, aren't we?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Although I've been telling my family no more and more often.
Oh, have you?
Well, at least my ex family, like my ex father-in-law, he'll ask me for something. I'm like, The Geek Squad, they're not the best, but they are there. And I'm not. So I'll probably look at it next time I'm over, but just go to Best Buy. It's fine.
See, my in-laws would rather take something back to the store than feel like they're imposing, and I don't understand that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like on Christmas Day, we weren't doing anything. We'd already opened presents. We were just sitting there, and my mother-in-law casually mentioned that my brother-in-law, who's autistic, his computer wasn't working. I was like, "Oh, I'll go take a look at it and I'll fix it."
Yeah.
All I did, because there was something really screwed up with it, all I did was reinstall Windows on it. I didn't need a USB drive or anything like that. He didn't have any files on it. He just uses it to watch Netflix and stuff, So I reinstalled Windows on it, and you would think like I had a magic wand,
Just amazed.
Just like, how'd you do that? It's like, well, I let it sit for an hour.
Did you come floating out of the room with your arms spread out and like a light behind you?
I am Thor.
It has been done.
It's just a Windows reinstall. It was like 7 mouse clicks or something like that, and typing his name in and a password. That was it.
Yeah, I put an SSD in my mother-in-law's computer. Same mother-in-law, and she thought I bought her a new laptop. It's like, no, it's the same one, but yeah.
I definitely used to go the extra mile for family and friends long ago. I've learned better now, but I used to be knee deep in wireless issues on friends and family. And here's your issue. Oh, you got some porn virus.
Now the thing is my friend's asking me if I can hack something.
Oh yeah.
Like, can you jailbreak this? Like, why do you want to jailbreak it, man? I don't know. I heard you could do cool stuff with it. Okay, what do you want to do with it? I don't know. I want to find out. Then go to YouTube, dude.
The best moment I can relate to on this was I used to work at a patent law firm with a lot of smart people, right? So one of these attorneys comes up to my desk asking for tech support, but then he's like, "Hey man," he's like, "Hey, you ever hear of the dark web?" I'm like, "Oh really?" He's like,
"I hear dark web."
He's like, I hear you can get a browser that'll take you to the portal that'll get you to the dark web. And you ever hear about that? I'm like,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, I've heard about that, but you're not going to want to talk about that around these parts here. I better not see any Tor traffic coming through our network, you son of a bitch.
You have to say, shut up, Alexa's right there.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Dave. How many grenades would you like?
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic.
That's
just all covert story. And shit.
Yeah.
Yo,
like,
dog,
hey man,
you heard of the dark web?
You heard of the dark web?
I heard you can buy weed cigarettes on there.
The best part is this guy's name was Jake. Like
Jake.
Jake.
You know that guy wore an upside down visor in college, all right? You know he did.
He did. He fucking did. He had I'm pretty sure he wore a fanny pack to the office.
Woo.
Ooh, although fanny packs are pretty cool these days.
It's one of those names that you have to like spit when you're insulting him with something. You have to be like, listen, Jake.
Listen here, Jake. There ain't gonna be no dark web around these parts.
Well, speaking of dark web, boys, I think it's time for us to go dark. What do you think?
Okay, I think so.
Yeah, this has been a great chat, and I've had a lot of fun geeking out about retro consoles with y'all.
Yeah, guys.
Likewise. Same here.
Very much.
So thank you, everybody, for tuning in to BRB Gamer again. We love you all, and we'll talk to you next week. I'm Thor.
Yeah. Stubborn Pixel.
Retro GM.
Jecklen.
We'll catch you guys later.
Oh, yeah. No, any of the pre-podcast content, don't put it in. And I know because I've said this now. Now you're going to put it in.
Don't listen. Just put whatever you feel like in. You're the one editing. Just do what you got to do.
Yes, in the Christmas episode, there is a doom-based mom blowjob joke.
Thank God that the podcast, I have an avatar and not.
Yeah, right.
And I will never share it on Facebook. No, Mom. Don't blow demons in the bathroom. Not on my account. Do it in your own house, not while I'm watching.
Doom-based mom blowjob joke.
No, Mom.
Doom-based mom blowjob joke.
No, Mom.
Doom-based mom blowjob joke.
No, Mom.
Doom-based mom blowjob joke.
No, Mom. Don't blow demons in the bathroom. Not on my account. Do it in your own house, not while I'm watching.
Doom-based mom blowjob joke.
No, Mom. Don't blow demons in the bathroom. Not on my account. Do it in your own house, not while I'm watching.